Welcome back to the Motorsport Festival here at Kyalami. Second last race of the day, about to get out on track, and you can see them making their way around now on the warm-up lap behind that magnificent car of the year, 2018, Porsche's Panamera. And they'll be led out there by our pace car driver to go and resume the battle that happened for second, third, and fourth place in the first race. Unfortunately, no one had an answer to Charles Orangi's in the Aston Martin Vantage V12 coming out of Scuderia. Stradale Motorsport. So that's how things are going to look. Look out for the two 430s of the Dutoy brothers fighting with the BMWs. Is that Dino? Yes, it is. Dino Scribanti is back on track, so they've sorted out his Porsche. Saul Hack is in his Porsche ahead of Andrew Colbert. There is your reigning champion, Ricky Giannacara. Just got a quick shot of him as he peeled into Sunset Corner. So the G&H Transport BMW just behind there. That's the blue and white liveried one with the red mirrors going through a shot. Bit of Nicky Dix, Tuka Mechanicos, Alvain Steenkamp. Nice baptism for him into this series, along with David Kutsia, two BMW drivers fighting. Look at Bruce Turner and Willie De Beer just in the background there too. Brand new machinery in those two. In fact, Willie De Beer with a new bodywork on the car and a refreshed Porsche engine. Looking to do some development here this weekend for that Porsche to be in contention by the next round of Extreme Supercars. Bruce Turner as well. A big welcome to one of our viewers in Cyprus, of all places. Good to see we're getting all around the world. As I said, we had Hong Kong. The United States of America was watching us earlier on today. We had guys in Milton on Keys. We had guys in Mauritius. We've got guys now in Cyprus. So literally worldwide coverage of this magnificent Motorsport Festival here at Kyalami. And of course, you can't ask for better coverage than what you're getting right now.
Yeah.
A field of very expensive machinery about to go to battle. Greg Parton in the mix there as well. The Lamborghini one mentioned we didn't get there for the Dryset Environmental Man. To have him here alongside Saul Hack. And I think this might be a little bit closer than what it was in the first one, Rob. Not potentially for first place, but I think the battle for second, third, and fourth there with Sav Gutteri, Adrian Dalton, the two Ferraris of the Dutoys, and Darren Winterboer and Dino Scribanti in the Porsche. Going to definitely be pushing a bit harder here. The Panamera pulls into pit lane, which now leaves Charles Orangi's to dictate the pace for this rolling start. Rules of the rolling start is you maintain your pace. You may not accelerate until the lights go out, and it's up to the pole man to decide what that pace is. So Sav will just have to hang tight until those lights go out. Try and catch Charles Orangi's if he can, and if he can, give him a run for his money for Class A+. Now lights go out, the lights go on the cars, and they head down towards Crowthorne for the first time. Look in the background, Tuka Mechanicos getting a good start, trying to go on the inside of a couple of BMWs, and Saul Hack's Porsche as they head down onto the braking markers. It is the
one of the
Orangi's
Lamborghinis.
car. Look at Parton. Parton diving on the inside and moving his way up into third place, not showing any respect there to Adrian Dalton in the extra shoes and extra clothing BMW, and he's up into third place with Jonathan Dutoy following suit in the Trans-Africa Racing Ferrari. Mark Dutoy in the second of those Trans-Africa Racing machines, all over the back end of the Brands Motorspares BMW of Darren Winterboer, and Winterboer now looking to try and get ahead of him if he can. He's done that. He's got a little margin. Adrian Dalton comes back and looks to fend off the attack coming from the Ferrari. I did say it was going to be a better battle for second, and it looks like that's exactly what's going to happen. Now, Sav Gutteri is not allowing any action at the front end in terms of that Aston Martin's ability to get away. He is stuck right on the tailpiece there of the Aston Martin and wants to give him a run for his money, a lot better than what he did in the first race.
Yeah, Winterboer has now made that move. Ooh, gets a little bit out of shape coming up the S's there. And looks like the Parton, the Lamborghini, is going to try and make a move up to the top of the hill. No, not close enough. Or is he? He's going on the inside there.
Go for it. Go for it. Put it in there.
Ooh, you don't want to.
That is fantastic stuff.
You don't want to be touching cars, these beautiful cars. And here comes Jonathan Dutoy. We saw the Dutoys in both those Ferraris just taking their time in race number one.
Look at Parton though, buddy. He's on the inside of Dutoy and it looks like he's going to go for it. No, Dutoy's got the inside line for the next one. Sorry to jump in on you there, but wow.
Or does he?
Oh, there we go. Has a look. Ooh. It's definitely Greg Parton, the white helmet. I thought maybe Schecter's jumped in the car for the second heat because they normally share that car in the extreme, the endurance series. So it's definitely Greg Parton. That white helmet is there, and he is loving this little fight. Darren Winterboer now looking for a chance. Chris Crutchwell is online. So is a man in Dubai. I didn't quite get the name of that guy in Dubai, but we'll hopefully get it in our ears there. Brett Bell. Nice. Yeah, it's nice to see.
Welcome.
Dubai is in the house as well.
They'll be loving this supercar, actually.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Lots of these around. In fact, if you drive a Porsche, it's probably like driving a taxi in Dubai.
Yeah, a Yaris.
That's probably the worst car you can have in Dubai. Okay, so on the breakers, back into Crowthorne. Darren Winterboer all over the back end of Mark Dutoy. And Tuka Mechanicos also starting to make his way back into this little fight at the front end. Look at this. Dino Scribanti's on his tail, Saul Hack, and then Andrew Colbert. 3 Porsches behind the Mercedes-Benz AMG of Tuka. And Tuka, much better run here from him.
Yeah, you said this race was going to be a lot closer, and so far it is. Out front, still that man in the Aston Martin. Of course, that is a Rangi's. But a good drive there from Sav Gutierrez. He's not too far behind. As the Darren Vinterberg, not the start that he would have wanted. He's now trying to fight through the field. Adrian Dalton right up there, or on the inside goes one of the Porsches there. That is Dino Scribanti making the move on the inside there of that beautiful chromed out Mercedes-Benz there. And coming through here, Paulton's still right in the mix there. He's still ahead of Dutoy there. And a brilliant drive here from the Lamborghini driver. Pretty much caught everyone napping the start of this race. But look how Jonathan Dutoy has closed in on Dalton already.
Looking for a way through
squaring it up.
Side by side as they head down the mine shaft. BMW with a little bit more grunt down that mine shaft. And, of course, going to be matched by the Ferraris handling as they come down now onto the breakers into Crocodile. Goes wide and looks for an opportunity. There's Agliotti, one of our top 4 riders today, having a super effort. All the trees are in the house. And looks like, Jonathan, that's it. Squares it up. He's going to go side by side.
You can't do 2.
Yeah, please don't go through 2 by 2.
Do they not listen? You cannot go 2.
If you're watching any Sassel Global touring car action today, you do not put 2 cars through that corner at the same time. Well done, Adrian Dalton. Live to fight another corner. Potentially only.
For now.
Yeah, we'll wait and see how they go. Right, across the line they come. Another lap down. Remember, this is a slightly shortened version of this race, a 7-lapper as opposed to the 10 that was due. And now down in towards Crowthorne Corner. It's Dalton trying to get away from Jonathan Dutoy. Mark Dutoy trying to close down on Greg Parton. And absolutely amazing stuff there from the Dryzit Environmental Lamborghini. Has a little bit of an issue coming out there, but how's this side-by-side through Yuxke? Dutoy eventually gets back ahead of Dalton.
I think Dalton just said, okay, listen, just have it. I don't want to get in any kind of fight with you now. We'll sort this out in the closing stage of the race. But Jonathan Dutoy going very defensive there. BMW's got a little bit extra power down the straights, but the Ferrari's definitely a little bit more nimble in the handling department. Look at the corner speed that Jonathan Dutoy is carrying in that beautiful Ferrari car there. The Lambo still holding off Mark Dutoy, so that's a brilliant drive. Darren Vinterberg now coming into the mix there as well. So certainly racing action a lot closer than we saw in race number 1. Checked out front is Oranges. Sav Gutierrez still not too far behind there, but a much better start from him. Remember, he had problems also in race number 1. Looks like he sorted that out. But where can Mark Dutoy make that pass on that Lamborghini?
I don't know, buddy. V12 out front, though, dominating and getting away. It's the battle of the V8s just behind. And you can see a 1:45.8. No, that's not a new lap record.
Not lap record, no.
Not quite close enough to get the Janetta's lap record there. And I know, as I said earlier on in the day, and if you haven't caught any of the action throughout the day, you can pick it up on LEB's Facebook page. You can go back and watch it as many times as you want. Please like and share it. Pass it on all to your friends all around the world and show what we're doing here at Kyalami Grand Prix Circuit, because it's certainly great action, particularly here in the G&H Transport Extreme Supercars. Now, one car, as I said, that we were expecting to see. Look at the flame out of the bonnet.
The
flame out of the exhaust pipe right at the bonnet there. It's super stuff. The Bentley of Mr. Toby Fenter hasn't quite made it out just yet, but it's definitely in the country and being developed to be a front runner here in the G&H Transport Extreme Supercars to take on this man. And potentially a couple of other new cars coming in the very near future as well. So look forward to a great season of Extreme Supercars if this is the kind of action we've got and only their second time of asking.
Sorry, I got a little bit of a fright there. Greg Parton's name was going down the leaderboard, but he is still there. Got it a little bit wrong there. I think he almost ran into the back of Dalton, had to roll off there, and that's allowed Mark Dutoy now right back on his tail, as is Darren Vinterberg. Dino Scribanti is now starting to come into this mix. So we could have a 5-6 supercar battle going on here for the final podium positions. Looks like Jonathan Dutoy has checked out in the Silver Dream Racer there, but Dalton trying to fend off Parton. What a drive this is from Parton. He was, I won't say nowhere, but he was nowhere near this kind of pace in race number 1.
No, they've definitely sorted that car out for race number 2 now. Whatever they've done is working like a dream, and Parton will be loving life in this position. He's always up for a challenge. He's got a couple of options that he can play with, of course, in the Extreme Supercars. This is his preferred one, the Aventador, but he's also got an incredibly quick KTM crossbow that he can fight with as well. So I think today was the best option he could have gone for. Tuka Mechanicos still fighting hard here with Saul Hack as they go through the S's. AMG just managing to stay ahead of that normally aspirated Porsche behind him. Look at this in the battle, starting to rage and starting to close in on Dalton too. I think Parton has definitely got a chance of getting up there and potentially being on the podium if something goes wrong at the front end.
Here we come now, down the mine shaft, on the brakes now for Crocodile yet again. Looks like, look at the Lamborghini just closing on the brakes there of Dalton. Impressive driving. Doesn't look like a very nimble car there, but the way he just threw it in there, That was really impressive driving. Down to about second gear, up third, fourth maybe. Not quite full taps there. The corner does tighten up. And then into the final turn. And once again, it is that Lamborghini versus Ferrari versus BMW battle now down the front straight.
I want to just say something. I wanted to say it in the first race. I forgot to do it. It's just reminded me now. It's great that Mark du Toit's found a car to go with his helmet. All white.
All white.
Oh, well, I don't think they're going to catch this man. Man alive, this car is just absolutely on rails, particularly here at Kyalami. It comes into its own. It's got the big straights. It's got the wide corners. It's got lots of room to play. Sav is enjoying life in second place at the moment, but it's not going to be for much longer because Jonathan du Toit is definitely closing in on him. Sav Guertieri on the last pass was only about 4 seconds ahead. But if you look at the lap times, du Toit down into the 150s, 53s coming out of Sav. He's 3 seconds quicker than Sav. He's going to have to get a hurry up.
Yeah, Sav, I think he's going to come under attack from Jonathan du Toit, and he's taken out. Looks like Mark du Toit, won't say has given up on that battle, but certainly losing ground there on Parton now in that battle for what is fourth place. Dalton's still holding it down. Certainly took 2 parts of the track. The Lamborghini seems to suffer the middle part of the track now, but coming into the end part of the track, Parton's able to close down that BMW. But I think Dalton looked in his rearview mirror a couple of laps ago, saw that Lamborghini closer than ever, and thought he just wants to get out of this, and he's now checking out. There is Sav still in second place. We won't say comfortable. Ooh, locking up just a little bit there. It's either smoke from the tires locking up or from the engine. And certainly Jonathan du Toit is starting to close down that gap. It's a beautiful shot of all the cars filtering through Louis Coupe there. Remember, they square it up and then it's flat out 240 k's plus through the mine shaft.
I think in the Aston Martin, we're close to the 260 k/h mark. These guys in the V8's probably the 240, 250 k/h as they pitch it in. And then hard on the brakes all the way down, sometimes even into first gear, depending on the ratio of box that they're using. Sav Guertieri probably into second gear there in this big V8 of his. Look at the flame coming out. He's actually burning his windscreen. If you look at the windscreen decal of the G&H Transport sticker that's there, it's actually got a burn mark on it from the heat that's coming out of that exhaust pipe that literally runs straight in front of the driver's head. It's
such a weird shot because it looks like the cockpit's on fire and you're waiting for Steph to just jump out of that car any second, but it's not. Coming down the hill, I think that's another one of the Porsches. Check it, this.
Just ahead of this little battle.
This is a good battle.
Sun Moodley fighting there with Jimbo Giannaccaro, and on their tail, David Coetzee. Behind them, I think it's Willy de Beer in the Porsche, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yes. It is.
As I said, that car's still under development. Lots of work being done on it, but using this race to get a little bit of extra data that they require just to play around with the settings on the engine. And, of course, they've got some brand new aerodynamic package on that car too, which they're also playing around with a little bit. So look out for Willy de Beer coming through rapidly. We know as a Porsche driver, and if you've been a Porsche fan in this country, de Beer is a name you definitely want to keep in mind, particularly when you're in a fast Porsche.
Speaking of fast Porsches, check at that. He just pulls alongside. Doesn't quite have the top end coming towards the end of the straight. Doesn't have it under braking. And that is, like you said, once they get the development in that car, just sort out the suspension, the braking, everything in that, he is going to be a serious contender in that Porsche. Just can't quite find a way past there. Sun Moodley doing a great job at leading out this little battle now. A little bit further down, what is that for about...
It's top 20.
It's top 20.
Just inside the top 20. The 20th place car is just behind them. That's Bruce Turner. So you've got 19, 18, 17, and 16 fighting there, with Moodley in 16th place at this stage. New livery for the Bigfoot Express Freight team as well. You see Andrew Culbert just a bit further up. He runs the slightly more yellow car as opposed to the purple car that comes from the back end. But now, continuing the battle here, the Dryzen Environmental Lamborghini, keeping just a little bit of patience there. And I think maybe running out of patience is Mark du Toit.
Mark du Toit, yeah, definitely closing that gap now. It looked like Parton just had a little bit of a wiggle there coming through Crocodile. So du Toit now, he really wants to get past. Looks like they've dropped off the challenge there of Winterboer. I can't see Winterboer anywhere in sight, as is Dino Scribanti. So this battle now really is between the two of them. Just ahead of them, Dalton is starting to close down on Jonathan du Toit there, going on to the final lap now. Aranji's is clean and comfortable out front, but that battle for second place, it looks like Dalton, I'm just trying to see, Dalton could be closing in there on du Toit just ahead of him.
Du Toit and Dalton closing in on Sav.
On Sav, yeah,
you're right. Sav is able to hang tight and maintain that second place, because it's not going to be easy to do here, particularly in the closing stages when it's a slightly shortened version. There's Sav, there's Jono, and there comes Dalton. You were spot on in terms of your ability there on picking up on Dalton. And Dalton going on the inside, Sunset, has a big look. I said he'd come back.
You did.
And there's a possibility that Jono might take a bit of payment for the big move he pulled on Dalton earlier on. Adrian Dalton has got no respect for anybody. He races as hard as any other driver in this world. And I can tell you something, he's a very difficult man to fight with. A few occasions where I've been involved in with my mini, where he was in his Golf, and he literally gives you a hard time no matter where you are. So I think du Toit is going to be certainly having to keep his wits about him. The leader, though, a massive advantage of nearly 35 seconds as he comes across the line. And once again, back-to-back victories there for Charles Oranges, and the Stradale Motorsport camp will be happy with that. He comes through for a double victory there in that awesome Aston Martin.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be brave. 240k plus an hour down the mine shaft on the inside, side by side. Oh, Totoy's running out of a little bit of room. He goes very defensive. Dalton trying to go around the outside. He's going to try and square it up now. Use the little bit of extra power that BMW's got. Now, please do not two abreast going into Cheetah. No!
Oh! Touch between the BMW and the Ferrari as they go back there. Unbelievable stuff. The BMW's got through on the Ferrari, so Jonathan Dutoy loses out as the two cars come together into Cheetah. Dalton has just got out. Wow, brilliant stuff. Can he keep it all together? Yes, he can. It's going to be Couturier to finish second, but Dalton, incredibly, making a move where there shouldn't be one able to be made, and he gets through there on Dutoy. Greg Parton comes through to finish up an incredible dice there with Mark Dutoy for 5th and 6th place. It's Winterboer in 7th, Dino Scribanti in 8th. We go back to the battle here for the latter part of the top 20. It's 16th place up for grabs here with San Mudley. It's Jimbo Giannaccaro and, of course, David Kutsia. Willie De Beer just behind them. They come down onto this breaking point now. Could we see any changes between these four? As they come under braking, David Kutsia maybe going to settle for the position behind the Ferrari of Jimbo Giannaccaro. The last time Jimbo was here, he had a big incident. Remember, he went and crashed into turn 3 and hit the wall and destroyed that Ferrari. So GNH Transport done an incredible job to ensure that that car is back on track and looking good. It's behind the Porsche, which is not where Jimbo would want to be. The battle of the trucking companies there. GNH Transport taking on Bigfoot Express Freight, and it's going to be the Porsche who wins that little battle out.
Only just. That's how close it was across the line. But you said Dalton was a hard man on track, and he certainly showed it there. And I think one lesson that we can learn from today is that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, drivers and riders are making Cheetah a possible overtaking maneuver place. I mean, I never thought it to be possible.
But it works out nicely. So Chris Crutchwell, yeah, Dalton has some big, shiny brass ones. There's no doubt about that one, Chris Crutchwell. I like the comments coming in from Facebook page. Lovely stuff. Simon Murray, thank you for your comments as well. Pity you weren't here as well, buddy. I know that you would have loved to be here. Simon Murray, of course, is the man who currently holds the outright lap record in his magnificent Ginetta. So look forward to seeing him in a race car pretty soon back at Kyalami, I'm sure. There's an endurance event coming up here soon. But remember, Bike Festival, Comic-Con, and, of course, the Motorsport Festival, Motoring Festival here.
Westbank Motoring Festival,
Looking forward to that one. Right, the Panamera Porsche moves back onto the circuit, which means in the background you'll be hearing the magnificent sounds of the AMC Samcar V8 Supercars. We've just seen V8 Supercars in action. The big V8 Supercars now coming out with the Big Bang tires, and that'll be our final race of the day. We'll be back with you shortly.